What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Killer K, aka K1132. Tell me also known as your celestial empress or empress or emperor, whatever you prefer. All right, y'all, I'm finna go live on TikTok as well. So I'm finna do my little TikTok intro. You feel me? But we're finna get deep into these messages today. I have some messages, y'all. I have some really deep messages for all of us in regards to lessons being learned from past lives. I got a whole channeling, y'all. So we finna get deep up in it. I'm finna go live on TikTok though, as well. I'm doing a dual live. Okay, so what's up? What's up, my TikTok fam? I'm going live on YouTube and TikTok, y'all. So I got. If I look this way, it's because I'm going looking at the camera this way, because TikTok camera's over here. The YouTube camera's over here. So, anyways, you guys, if you're new to this channel, do not forget to hit the subscribe button with the post notification bell so you don't miss when you get this go live. Okay. I'm gonna be taking questions. If you guys have any questions or any input you want to put into this live, I'm definitely willing to co-create and collab with y'all. But first, if you're new on my YouTube, definitely hit the subscribe button with the post notification bell so you don't miss when you get Cisco live. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. Also, for my TikTokers, if you're new, please follow me. 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 Hey. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. All right, y'all. So we're finna go live. We're finna get these messages in. I feel like this is a very, very like we probably need this live, low key. We probably need to figure out what the fuck is actually going on. What the fuck is actually going on right now. So we're gonna get into that. Happy new moon in Pisces, everybody. Definitely put those manifestations out there. Definitely like do your thing. Make sure that you're understanding, understanding, and overstanding like what is actually happening in your life. This Pisces new moon is the time where we can shift these old paradigms. And what are old paradigms, right? Old paradigms are the way that we used to do things, how we used to operate, what we used to do, what we used to allow in our life to be done, okay, to us. Those are old paradigms that are getting ready to shift out. So if you guys have noticed, like, hey, I've noticed that, like, I can spot some things in my life that no longer resonate with me. I can spot the fact that I've hung out with people that I no longer resonate. I do things that I no longer resonate with, right? I'm in a career that no longer serves me, right? Okay, this is the opportunity to utilize this new moon in Pisces, because Pisces is the planet that is ruled by Neptune. All right. So Neptune's the planet of dreams, fantasies, just illusions in aspect. But the illusion is sometimes these energies that we pick up. I'm sad. It's okay. You're gonna get better. Listen to my live. Okay, I'm gonna cheer you up. I'm gonna give you something to cheer yourself up with. You have a choice in whatever it is that you're wanting to do. What's up, Shaniqua? Y'all, I'm going live on TikTok and on YouTube, so I'm gonna be switching back and forth with the chats. But Pisces is also ruled by the planet of Neptune. Neptune is the story keeper, the storyteller, right? So Neptune tells us the stories. Like, remember when your great grandma used to tell you stories about how so and so did woo, 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 right? Neptune is the planet of storylines. So when we talk about shifting paradigms, and us creating new storylines, we're essentially saying the past lives that I've lived, they no longer resonate with me. I no longer resonate with being this dominating force of destruction that I was in my past life. Some of y'all were like great emperors and part of the grand dynasties and shit, right? But this lifetime does not require you to do that. This lifetime requires you to understand the subtle energy that you exist within, right? It requires you to understand the subtle energies. I'm not doing host lives right now, you guys, on TikTok. So I will let y'all know if I want to have hosts at a later time. But yeah, so we're really getting into these storylines. So we're getting deep into this past life work. A lot of us think, oh, my karmic shadow work is just me working on the parts of myself that aren't as strong. No, this karmic shadow work it deals with unresolved past life trauma. So for example, if you find yourself in your current moment, let's say you have an absent parent in your life, right? You have an absent parent who's not as supportive of you this lifetime. There could have been some karmic shadow work in regards to maybe in a past life you were this person's parent and you were not as supportive of what they're doing, right? So it's not for you to try to change the person. It's for you to say, okay, how can I build my energy around being who I am without having to even seek the validation of an absent parent? For some of y'all, okay, this is what it could be. But we're getting into it. I do have some channel songs and I also have some numbers The angel number 636 came up, and 646. So that's going to be for some of y'all. 636, 646 are the angel numbers that I got. The channel songs I got for Sovereign Masculine is Living Single by Big Sean. I think Chance the Rapper and somebody else was on that song too. So look it up. And then the channel song I got for Sovereign Feminine is by Whitney Houston. You give good love to me, baby. Yeah, all that shit, okay? All that shit. So that's the energy that we have coming in. So how do we shift this paradigm? Well, we really have to understand what this paradigm is actually presenting to us. So a lot of us, like, we tend to be like, I'm going to change the things I don't like about myself, right? I'm going to be better at this. I'm going to be better at that. And so that is wonderful. That is beautiful. But if we're having a equal balance, right? If we're balancing that feminine masculine energy, you have to understand what your shadow self is requiring from you, right? So maybe you're saying, I want to be better at having boundaries. And your shadow self is saying, well, you also need to be better at doing what on the shadow side? Because sometimes we try to improve ourselves, but we don't destroy those old beliefs. We just try to improve. Like, I'm going to be better at focusing on what I want. But then when we look at, okay, you also need to be better at speaking up about distractions. It's not just about bettering what you want. It's about speaking up when distractions come up. Yeah, you can better yourself, but if the thing that stops your growth is consistently being brought to your attention, are you just going to ignore that and say, I'm just going to keep focusing on what I want? Because then you'll have these shadow aspects that are going to really push up in your face. They're going to push up on you. All right. They're going to say, like, look, we need attention too. We need love too. We need you to start speaking up for yourself. It's not just about focusing on what you want to change. It's about also focusing on the deconstruction of what has caused you to have this ego death or want to change anything in general, right? It's like, what's making you want to change shit? What's making you want to change for the better, right? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. So I want to tap into it, and we're going to get real deep up in it, y'all. So I'm picking up that a lot of us are living in our own personal hells. And we don't even realize how we're living in our own personal hell. Being in your own personal hell doesn't necessarily mean that everything is falling apart in front of you. Living in your own personal hell could be, for some of us, it's like things that we don't let go of. So you can live in your own personal hell by being in an energy of not letting go of something that doesn't serve you. That creates your own hell because you're tortured by it, right? Some of us are hoarding, and we're hoarding past memories, right? We're hoarding, this could be physically or mentally, we're hoarding experiences in order to keep a memory intact. So for some of us, this could look like hoarding. It could be positive memories or negative memories. We could be hoarding memories of, I remember that one time that I was with somebody that treated me so good, and then they left and it broke my heart. And now I'm just stuck in this residual pain sequence that just, I'm not even allowed to in this fully. I'm not allowing myself to in this fully moment be present in the creation that I want to create, because I'm still holding on to the fact that somebody I loved hurt me. And then that goes deeper into past life trauma. Okay, so did you hurt somebody that you loved in past life? Is that what that means? Is this a cycle? You hurt them, they hurt you, you hurt them, you know, right? So we have to really understand these things so we can come out of these cycles. That's another thing that Neptunian, Piscean energy brings, is that there are these storylines. These are these stories that are told time and time again. Y'all ever heard of old wives' tales, right? But then we condition ourselves by these storylines. We condition ourselves to repeat, right? To perpetuate these storylines, because what you hear is what you become. If you repetitively hear, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit, chances are, unless you have a strong willpower, you ain't gonna be shit. And that's not because you don't have the capability to do better. It's because you keep listening to these storylines that tell you who you are and who you are not. Right? Like, let me know if y'all hear me up in here. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart if you hear me up in this piece. All right. That's kind of what we're grasping in the moment of what is this shadow work that we're all collectively doing, because this is a collective thing. We're collectively doing shadow work. It's not just one person, it's not just a group of people, it's not just masculines, it's not just feminines. We are all doing the shadow work. And the shadow work is saying you are holding on to a past memory, whether it be good or bad, whether it be whatever the fuck it is. You're holding on to a past memory that no longer serves you. It doesn't even resonate with who you are today. That person that hurt you, they hurt the old version of you, the version of you that let motherfuckers walk all over you, or the person that held on to past memories that didn't serve them. That's what hurt you. right? They hurt that version of you. And so as long as you are still resonating with holding on to that memory, you're still resonating with an old version of yourself. I put a post on my YouTube, on my community tab, like, bro, y'all niggas be thinking y'all know me. Y'all know the Windows 95 version of me. I'm literally a MacBook Pro now. Like, so you're trying to hold me to an old standard, an old belief, an old storyline, an old character that I no longer exist as. And we also do this to ourselves. It's not just other people. We do this to us. And we give people permission to do this to us, right? By entertaining what they hold the old standard of us to be, right? So let's say somebody comes up to you and say, hey, you broke my heart in kindergarten, and I don't forgive you for that shit. And if you entertain that shit, then you're entertaining being that old character that broke somebody's heart in kindergarten. Like, it's as simple as that. But it ain't so simple sometimes because, again, these are past life issues, past life trauma, past life drama that we have to like click the fucking TV off on that shit. Sometimes you got to turn the TV off, turn the YouTube off, and keep it pushing. Walk away because that's not who you are. So as long as you interact with that person or that situation that is consistently reminding you and trying to bind you to an old storyline, that's what the fuck you gonna become. You get me? For some of y'all. And for some of us, it is to like, let's look at this. Let's look at who we used to be. Let's look at the patterns that we used to reflect upon ourselves and others. So that way we know, hey, I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm not gonna be that person no more. I'm not gonna be involved in those storylines anymore because I deserve to have a new storyline. I deserve to be a new character. All right. So that's for some of y'all as well. Also, what we have to realize about these memories that we're holding on to and emotionally hoarding, whether that be it pain, be it love, be it trauma, whatever it is that we're hoarding and holding on to, what we have to realize is that our memories are based on our perception, right? And when we take perception for fact, even if you feel like you were the one that was correct in the situation, I was the one that was right. My way of thinking things and looking at things was right. All right. When you take your perception for fact, you can get like lost in the multiverses of wormholes through that exist in your own mind. So when I say that, right, let's look at that. Okay. So let's really, because I feel like a lot of us, we blame people for shit. Like, this person hurt me. They did this, they did that. And we don't see like that's your perception of what they did to you. You have no idea what they were experiencing to make them react in that way. You have and that's not to take any, like, they need to take accountability if they did something wrong, obviously. But let's look at it deeper than this person did this to me. Well, okay, what were they dealing with that was not allowing them or giving them access to make better quality choices? Is it your fault that they did that? Absolutely not. Should we just sweep it under the rug and make it seem like it didn't happen? Absolutely not. But let's look beyond the pain and sorrows and woes that we feel to truly understand what it is that we are here to learn. Because once we do that, we can see this was the lesson I was supposed to learn by dealing with this person or having this interaction or this encounter, instead of being like, this person hurt me, right? Because we hold on to that shit. We hold on to, this person did this, they weren't here for me to do this, they created all this drama in my life, like all that shit, right? And we don't look at like, okay, let me look outside of my perspective. Let me look and see the whole situation for what it truly means. The whole situation could look like, okay, maybe this person hurt you, but they didn't know how to properly love you or treat you right because they were never taught how to treat people right because they were never treated right. So then when we hold that person to this, like, restrict them to this identity that maybe they did not mean to like do, we demonize them. And we say, you're a horrible person for doing this, or I don't forgive you. Instead of saying, what can I learn about myself? How did I attract a situation that reflected someone abandoning me, hurting me, leaving me, or abusing me? What is it in me, without like self-shaming, right? But what is it in me that attracted this? What do I need to learn from this interaction? Because clearly, if it's brought to me, there's something I need to learn from it. If I'm experiencing this connection with someone else, there's something I need to learn from it. And this person, a lot of times we associate a person with a lesson that we're learning. The person was not the lesson that you learned. The person was a messenger for you to learn this lesson. They were somebody that was able to bring this to you and reflect this to you, right? But they're not the lesson themselves. So sometimes people are like, "Oh, that person was a lesson. I got over them, yada yada yada." Okay, that's fine. They're going to go on and live their life. They're going to do whatever they got to do. What is it that you were able to take away from the situation that is not putting yourself in a self-imposed prison of trauma drama? Because sometimes we be on some shit where we just be so involved with they hurt me, they did this, and I was never good enough for them. And it's like, girl, that's not even what we're here to do. You missing the assignment. You're not getting the assignment. You're not understanding the assignment. The assignment was, what could you learn from this person? What could you learn, not even from the person, but from the situation? And that's another thing. I hate when people say don't mix business with pleasure. I get it. But in the grand scheme of things, like these universal lessons that we're learning, these karmic lessons, these past life traumas that we're resolving, it's going to come in the package of pleasure because a lot of us run away from the things that we actually need to focus on. So the only way that the Most High can get your attention is putting you in a relationship that at first seems really good, or putting you in a job where you're making a lot of money, right? And that's not the purpose of what you're learning. They're kind of like, it's like hiding the medicine in the candy. They're like, here, you want some candy? Because a lot of us will not, well, we just won't take the medicine. We're like, nope, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need the medicine. That's fine. I'm great. I don't need the medicine. And we do need the medicine, but we won't take it because we think we don't need it, whatever the case may be. So the Most High will put the medicine in the candy and they'll serve it to you. So I want all of us to kind of like analyze this, excuse me, together. What is the one thing that you run away from the most? The one thing that you do not give yourself permission to experience, whether that be like other people, harmonious relationships, learning from whatever it is. What is the one thing that you run away from the most? Right? So look at that one thing that you run away from the most. And then look at, where do I go to escape this one thing that I'm learning the most? That I'm not learning. Well, yeah, you are learning, but where do I go to escape this one thing? So I'm running away from what I need to learn. This is this one thing right here. But where do I go when I run away from this? And that's going to tell you, wherever you go is going to tell you where the Most High is doing a lot of lessons in your life. So let's say, for example, I run away from acknowledging my abandonment issues, but I run away to relationships where the other person's unemotionally available. That's where I'm going to get most of my lessons. So if I'm running away from my issues and fears of abandonment and I'm going to relationships, that's where the Most High is going to give me the most lessons about my abandonment issues. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm just going to escape this thing and do this instead because it makes me feel good. I don't have to deal with the thing that I don't want to look at. But that's the place where you're going to most get those lessons. You're going to most get the lessons that you're ignoring in your relationship if that's what you run to. Now, if you're running to, let's say, work, let's say I run away from my ability to trust myself or others, and I do this by just overworking myself, then a lot of your lessons are going to unfold in your work life, whatever that looks like for you. So I just kind of want us to get on track about what we're actually creating versus what we want to create. Some of us are creating things that are from spaces and places that no longer resonate with us. And that's why we keep recreating shit in our life that we're not satisfied with, because we no longer resonate as the person that we were when we originally wanted to create that thing that we wanted to create. All right. Also, another thing that I'm picking up for this Pisces new moon that we all should be looking at is realizing how you allow others to surround you with their own personal hells, and how you may do that with others. So for example, this could look like let's say I'm in my own personal hell, right? And whatever that hell looks like for me is what that hell looks like for me. Like, my bad, y'all, I'm trying to get the TikTok live. I'm like managing 2 lives right now, trying to get the TikTok live going. All right. So let's say that, like, my personal hell is, what could my personal hell be? I'm trying to think of a real life situation for myself. What is my own personal hell? Getting lost in, like, how I've allowed others to abuse me. Okay. So let's say that's my own personal hell. And I'm trying to resolve that within myself. But then at the same time, I'm surrounding someone with, okay, I'm gonna scratch that. Let's say my own personal hell is like people trying to tell me how to live my life. And that's like what's creating like validation from others, maybe. Right. So let's say my own personal hell is that I seek and crave validation for others. I seek and crave for others to see me for who I am, to understand who I am. Nobody has an obligation to see you, hear you, or know you for who you are. If they do, that's beautiful and awesome for you. If they don't, that should not stop your fucking day. It should not rain on your motherfucking sunny ass day. Bitch. Okay? Period. But let's say that the way that you enact that personal hell on others is that you constantly offer your opinion about what somebody should be doing to them, or you constantly are like trying to validate others, right? When they never asked for validation, they never asked you to validate them. They never asked you to do a motherfucking thing. You're taking it upon yourself to try to validate them because you feel invalidated in regards to others. And so we really have to watch and monitor. Like, we got to look at our toxic. You got to monitor your toxic to understand where you could be like doing fucked up shit to other people without even without even knowing it, because you're suffering your own personal hell. Or just for example, like, this is going to be like an off track example. But let's say, for example, your own personal hell is like being depressed and not taking care of yourself. And then you want other motherfuckers to be around you. What's up, Sonya? What's up? You want other people to be around you to like help you feel better, yet you're leeching that energy onto them. You're giving them your sadness and your depression. Nobody gonna want to be with nobody that's like not happy with themselves. If you're not happy within yourself, who's gonna want to be around you? Who's gonna want to be with you? You get me? Like, people, you attract who you are. So if you want people to be happy around you, you have to be happy in self first. But that's how sometimes we will surround people or be surrounded by people's personal hell. That's a very clear example. So that's another thing that we have to look at as well. But it's important to understand that your own independence. So understand your own independence when it comes to co-creating or even being a part of someone's story, right? Rather it be friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, or more intimate relationships. There's a need to be extremely strong in the midst of a concurrent storyline. What a concurrent storyline is that you're running your storyline. You're the main character of your storyline, right? You're doing what you want to do. You're focusing on the goals that you want to accomplish. But then when you interact with others, you're in their storyline too. So it's a concurrent storyline. They're the main character of their story. You're the main character of yours. So keep your independence when it comes to like, if I'm wanting to, let's say I want to become an astrophysicist, okay? And that is what my storyline is. I'm on the quest to become an astrophysicist. I'm doing this, this, and that. But let's say I have somebody that's totally opposite. They want to do nothing, or they're not sure what they want to do with their life, right? You have to be strong enough to, and independent enough and willful enough to, ambitious enough even, to keep your storyline intact. Because sometimes what we'll do is we'll be in the storyline, right? We'll say that we want this one thing or that we're searching for this one thing in the storyline. But then when we get around other people, we take on their storyline. We take on the storyline of not knowing our purpose, even though we know we want to do something different with our lives. So it's really important to allow yourself the ability and the mobility to say, I understand what this person's doing or what they're not doing. And that's not going to cause any sort of shift, changes, or anything in my storyline. It may cause revelations. I may learn more about myself in the process, but I'm not going to adapt someone else's storyline, what they tell themselves every day, what they listen to, how they speak to themselves, to my situation if I know where I'm going and I know where I want to be. You get me? That's another thing that we're going to be learning under this. I got notes for days, y'all. That's another thing we're going to be learning for this Pisces new moon. Okay. Also, this is the case if what you're creating is meaningful yet unique for you, even while whoever in your life is creating whatever they're creating. And how you improve from this storyline, how you improve on who you are is by improving the quality of decisions you make when you're around others to accentuate the truest and most authentic expression of yourself. So when we're in these different storylines or when we're in these different concurrent relationship, whatever this case may be, how we improve who we are is by making quality decisions. What is a quality decision? A quality decision is that of few, not many. So this is not something that you do often, maybe. A quality decision could be something that you don't do often at this point in your life. Or it could be a decision that brings more quality energy into your life rather than quantity. It's easy to say, I'm going to make a decision that makes everybody else happy, rather than I'm going to make a quality decision that maybe a lot of people don't agree with it, but it brings more quality into my life than it does quantity sometimes. quality over quantity. Sometimes you may make a decision that brings a lot in your life, but it could be a lot of the wrong shit. It could be a lot of bullshit. It could be a lot of like delayed shit, prolonged shit. So when you make a quality decision, it's based off of what's going to go for best for me in the long run. Is it going to be something that just quickly satisfies me right now, brings a lot of gratification right now, but later on I'm depleted? A quality decision is something that brings more quality and more value into your life. It enhances the value that you innately have, and it provides more of that into your life. And it may take a while for that to happen. It may not just happen overnight, right? That's how you improve your life. I got some more notes, y'all. I was really doing the work, y'all. I started channeling during these notes that I'm writing. I started channeling because I feel as though this is important for the collective to know. I know I kind of just hit y'all out of nowhere. Like, where this girl been at? She just hit us out of nowhere. But this is what I got for y'all. So I want to look at this example real quick because I feel like a lot of us do this, whether we want to admit it or not. A lot of us do this. So, for example, if you're the type of person who flat out uses others to get ahead in life, you step on other people, you mash down their head, you step on other people's toes, or you just have been used to using others to get where you want in life, right? You are also subjected to that other person's hidden agenda. So that's just the law of attraction. If I have a hidden agenda and I'm making it seem like I'm just in it for this, but I'm really in it for that, that's going to be reflected into me. So if I'm trying to use somebody for their status, whatever the case may be, money, resources, whatever, it is appropriate to assume through the law of attraction that someone has hidden intentions for why they're allowing themselves to be used. I'm going to say that one more time for y'all that didn't understand that. Okay. If I'm using somebody for something, or it's my intention to use somebody for my own benefit, then we have to innately understand that that person also has a hidden motive or hidden intention for why they're allowing you to use them. Why are they allowing you to use them? Certainly, if it wasn't a match of energy, we couldn't even exist around each other. If my energy was so different than your energy, I wouldn't be able to exist around you, even though opposites do attract sometimes, right? So we got to look at you always getting used or you're always using people. Well, that's why you're attracting people that use you, or that's why you're attracting people that are allowing you to use them with a hidden agenda, right? Like, it ain't rocket science. It's not rocket science, y'all. Okay. So, with that being said, you can choose to improve by making better quality decisions, aka allowing yourself the independence to create your own storyline by enacting an action of your own free will without using the energy of others. So, how do you break that cycle? I just said it. Make better quality decisions that allow you to embrace your independence, embrace the ability to figure something out on your own or do something on your own with your own free will without using the energy of others for that specific example. And then just overall. Now, that's a lot of information, y'all. But I feel as though we need to kind of look at it and see what's going on with it. Also, we're going to get into this energy of relationship dynamics we have occurred from past lives. All right. Because I feel like a lot of us are trying to figure out, we thinking like, oh, it's the way that my mom raised me, it's the way that my dad raised me. But who raised them? Their mother or their father? And so when you look at it, you're just repeating a cycle emotionally, physically, or mentally that was subjected onto you from others, that was projected onto you from others, that you were subjected to. Sonia says, you helped me learn to stand up for myself and stop allowing others to use me. That's beautiful. I love that. What that reflects to me, that I'm also getting better with not allowing people to use me because I'm reflecting that to you. And then you're reflecting it back to me. We're all reflections of each other, y'all. So let's look at these relationship dynamics that we've occurred from past lives, because that's a really big one. I kind of want to look at some of the ones that we kind of deal with on like an everyday spectrum, right? So When we look at codependency, narcissist, and other spectrum specific toxic traits, because these are toxic, being codependent is not like a healthy trait. It's a toxic trait. Similar to being a narcissist, that's not a healthy trait either. It's toxic. Even if the person is a good person, the trait, the behavior that they're exhibiting is toxic, and we just have to call it what it is. We really have to clean in between the cracks of our lives to speak to, so to speak, in order to revive and transmute that hidden part of ourselves. So what does that mean, right? So let's say like I have a codependent nature, which I can admit that I do have codependent nature sometimes. I can be very independent, like super independent. But when it comes to certain areas of my life, I do get codependent. And those are the areas that the Most High is like, you need to work on this a little bit. Like, yeah, you're independent in these areas. So no, you don't have to work on that, but you got to work on this, right? It allows us to transmute that hidden part of ourselves. So a lot of the things that we're working on this lifetime, whether it be codependency, narcissism, control issues, abuse, accepting and tolerating abuse, whatever that is, right? These have occurred from past lifetimes. These may not even be things that you're just now like working on this lifetime. These are a lot of the times things that you've been working on from past lifetimes. And it gets a little tricky because when it comes to writing your blueprint and being a soul and incarnating on earth and like figuring out what you're going to learn and what you're going to teach others, right? A lot of the times the things that we suffer this lifetime, well, suffering is a choice, but the things that we interact with and encounter this lifetime that may cause us to suffer are things that we could have done to others in past lives. And that our soul was like, hey, I want to understand why I did this to someone else. Why was I being a control freak on them? Why was I being narcissistic to them? Why was I gaslighting them? So then we come into lifetimes where we're gaslit and people are doing their narcissistic tendencies on us and they're being codependent to us. You get me? So it's like a lot of cycles, a lot of cyclical energy here. But that doesn't mean that we can't create new cycles. Um, so yeah, this could be residual energy that we're working on from past lifetimes. Um, and that brings in Piscean energy again, because Neptune is the current ruler of Pisces. So these are the storylines that we've been told. These are the stories that we've told ourselves. Excuse me, the stories that elders have told us. I'm channeling y'all. That's why I'm burping. The stories that elders have told us. Well, if you cook your man a good meal at 8 p.m. every night and you throw a dash of salt over your shoulder and you do a little shimmy, shimmy, sha, then they'll never cheat on you. Or let's say, for example, Pisces and Scorpionic energy also rules the superstitions that we hear. If you buy a man a new pair of shoes, he gonna walk out your life, he gonna leave you, all that bullshit, right? So we're starting to look at that like, how much of that is actually true and how much is a self-imposed psychosis that we kept repeating this shit to ourselves, which in turn kept giving us the same fucking energy that we've been hearing. That like again, if somebody calls you ain't shit for all your life, whether you have the most awesome talent, the most beautiful energy and light, if you believe that storyline that somebody keeps telling you, you will self-prophesy. You will become the ancient person that everybody's told you that you are if you believe in it, if you don't have a strong enough willpower, right? So same goes with these storylines that we've heard in various lifetimes or just in general. My mama's mama always said that a good man gonna stay by a woman who cooks him dinner every night or does this for him or does that for him. And that person that told you that 9 times out of 10, they wasn't with a good nigga. I'm trying to tell you, they was not with a good man. That man was treating them how they were allowing themselves to be treated. Right. So we got to come out of that self psychosis, that self imposed like hypnotism, because that's what creates more of the cycles that we're actively breaking at this point. Right. So again, this is replaying old situations, old scenarios from many lifetimes, which could cause illusions. Although you've had a significant and impactful past lives, presently you are who you are this lifetime. You're not your great great grandmother from 1949. Maybe she spit shine his shoes and cooked that man mashed potatoes, gravy, and broccoli every night. But you are who you are right now. You spit shining a nigga's shoes or him spit shining your shoes is not going to bring you the same results it brought your great great grandmother. So then we have to break those illusions and see through them, right? So we need to understand balance. Just because you are working on these lessons from past lives doesn't mean that you forfeit the opportunity to exist as the person you were created to be this life. And that's a really big one. As we come into these energies with Pisces new moon and this whole Pisces season, this is what is being brought up to us. And I actually did a video on my channel on YouTube the other day about the transits for March. Aquarius is going into, or sorry, Mercury is going into Aquarius and getting all these updates, getting all this new information from our future timeline because we're in the age of Aquarius. But then Mercury is going to go back into Pisces and relay that information like, hey, these are the things that we need to work on to break these cycles and these habits and these illusions that we've created for ourselves and have imposed on ourselves. You get me? Seeking validation from other motherfuckers, but not, and these motherfuckers may not even be valid. Like, that's what killed me sometimes. Motherfuckers be trying to seek validation from people that are not even valid in their own life. They don't even have the validation in their own life. And you want them to validate your experience? Good luck with that. Don't hold your breath on that. You get me? Um, so that's really how we're able to grow, to learn and grow by not falling into the emotional, mental, and physical traps of repeating Pisces energy, the same movements, methods, and decisions of past lives. Once we consciously make new decisions, we create new timelines, thus creating a paradigm shift. And I want to get into this paradigm shift energy. But I want to make sure y'all still with me. Like, y'all still with me? Because I feel like I lost a lot of motherfuckers. They like, I don't know what she's talking about presently. I don't know what she's doing at the moment. I have no idea. But we're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it in this energy. Definitely going to talk about it. I want to make sure y'all with me. Let me take a little smoke break. All right. Now, see, it'd be fucked up when you can't read your own handwriting. Damn. Okay. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate you. So I was also, while I was channeling these messages, I was picking up on a person who has a habit of internalizing emotions. But then because they are tortured with their own unresolved and suppressed emotions, Scorpio energy, they toy with the emotions of others. For example, let's say, this is just an example, but I'm picking up on somebody similar to this, but this is maybe not your specific example. For example, let's say you stop talking to your mother. Okay, so you're just like, I don't want to deal with my mom. This person doesn't hear me. They don't understand me. They don't listen to me. I can't deal with them, right? However, you do this because you don't feel heard. You don't feel accepted. You don't feel you have the ability to articulate your needs to them. In the absence of talking to your mother, you enter, let's say, a romantic or friendship situation, right? And emotionally, you're destroying the other person in order to release the pain that you felt about not being heard. Cancer energy, emotion, right? This could have come from a multitude of lifetimes. But my question is, does it have to continue for a multitude more of lifetimes to come? So a lot of us, like, we internalize pain. Let's say we have trust issues, abandonment issues, whatever, right? And we keep that pain inside of us. We emotionally hoard those memories. We gather up those memories and we emotionally hoard them. We keep them. We hold on to them. And we keep repeating that shit to ourselves, which in turn brings a perpetual energy of what we don't want. Right. And then it's like, okay, at what point are you going to, like, because now you're hoarding these emotions towards this person that did you wrong. But then when you're internalizing and suppressing that energy, you're going to project it out into your reality and it's going to be projected back into you. That's why I talked about, like, motherfuckers that be using people. It's like you thinking that you playing somebody, but this person is allowing you to use them because they have their own hidden motives as well. If you have your own hidden motives about why you're using somebody, best believe they have their own hidden motives about why they're allowing themselves to be used. That's just it ain't good or bad. It's just period point blank. That's what it is. You get me? Um, Again, this could come from many lifetimes ago, but we have to kind of stop in the moment, in each moment. That's why it's important to analyze each moment of your reality, because you have to stop in the moment and say, okay, what am I creating right now? Am I getting my needs met? Am I speaking my boundaries? Am I being fair? Am I communicating what, right? And then what am I creating with all of this? What is it that I want to create with this? Because that's what you're going to have. And what effects of my emotional hoarding have I created situations that are perpetuating themselves that I need to stop those cycles, right? It's kind of the energy. And this gets deep into karmic shadow work and shadow cycles. So when we talk about karmic shadow work and karmic shadow work is not only the work that you're using, that you're learning for yourself, but specifically karmic shadow work is shadow work from pains and afflictions that you may have caused on others in past lifetimes. And so you wonder why somebody's constantly abusing you. You wonder why somebody's constantly mistreating you. Sometimes you just, for some of y'all, it's just shadow work. What's up, Davita? For some of y'all, it's just shadow work. So it doesn't have anything to do with karmic energy. It's just, I decided that I wanted to learn why this happens. But for some of you guys, you decide that you want to learn why something happens because in a past life, you did that to someone else and you want to see how it felt, right? I want to be on all sides of the spectrum so I can have a clear understanding, and an overstanding of what is actually happening in my life, what I'm actually creating, what I've actually created in other lives that's affecting my life this time, you know? That's why it's really important to have internal conversations with your higher self in order to map out where you are in the process and find new pathways to exit these cycles. And really, it's not just about exiting them, it's about transmuting these cycles. Like, what are you actually transmuting in this energy? Oh, that's all I wrote. Interesting. That's all I wrote. I had some channeled messages, y'all. Like, I had some channel messages, baby. We're gonna take a little quick little sit break. I feel like this was a good live. I might be able to end it here. I feel like these are the things that we need to look at in order to truly understand what we're creating, the waters that we're allowing ourselves to swim in. Are we going to keep swimming in these muddy ass waters? And of course, the only way that we can swim out of them is not to escape them and run away from them, but to go deeper in them. Like I said in the beginning of the live, what is it the one thing that you always ignore that you do not want to face about yourself or situations or experiences that you've had? And then what's the one thing that you run to when you're running away from this thing? For example, I've had abandonment issues from my father. And I noticed that I will always run to unavailable ass motherfuckers, emotionally, physically, mentally. And the reason that I'm running to them is because I'm expecting them to assist me in figuring, and they will do that. Like, they're going to assist me. That's because business is pleasure. These life lessons that we plan to learn are embedded in the very relationships that we may take pleasure in or that we think we'll find pleasure in, right? So, yeah, if I'm somebody that doesn't want to deal with my own issues about opening myself up to others, maybe I run to a job or I run to the rescue to someone else. But that's exactly where I'm going to find that very lesson that I'm not trying to seek within myself. So, again, figure out what it is that you are running away from, and then where do you run to when you're running away? That's going to show, like, it's just, it creates a cycle. You get me? Until you get back to the self, until you come right back around to you. That cycle is going to continue until you come right back around to yourself. And when you come right back around to yourself, you say, hey, let's look at this. Let's integrate this shit. Because for a lot of us, we are only focusing on our light and nourishing our light and shining our light. And then we neglect that shadow aspect of ourselves. All right. So truly, if we're working on our light, right, if we're only illuminating our light and we're not giving space for our shadow, the shadow is eventually, what does shadows do? It illuminates the light. It brings accentuation to your light. So if there's a lot of dark matter around me, I could be the brightest star in the motherfucking galaxy, but that must mean that there's a lot of dark matter around me, a lot of shadow energy around me that I'm not paying attention to. So in order to have a balance of light and dark, look at that dark side, look at that shadow side. Look at that motherfucker. Don't judge them. Don't call them wrong. There's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing to protect themselves. Because I also have a theory too that your shadow side comes from your wounded inner child. So a lot of the shadow energy that you feel about your shadow is basically the protector of your wounded inner child. Yeah, it gets deep, y'all. So I encourage y'all to look at that energy. I feel as though that's what the new moon is bringing. Sonia says, when I deal with a situation where I feel wronged, I now look into myself and see what it slash was within me to attract it. Exactly. And also it's important to do this without like shaming yourself. Like, I deserve this. I let this person hurt me. No. It's that you attracted that situation because you were running away from dealing with it on your own. And you cannot cheat the universe. You can't say like, I'm not gonna deal with my shadow side. I'm just gonna go over here and have this fun little life. Bitch, it's gonna come, it's gonna seep through the funness of your life. You get me? I no longer let my ego tell me I'm a victim. I love that for you, Sonia. I appreciate that, and I love that for you, and for you to share that in the chat with others, because you're not a victim. You're not a victim. You asked for this. You asked for this life. You accepted the challenge of being born again. Okay, and whether you asked for it physically, mentally, spiritually, or not, you did something in your past life that asked for you to come back and fix it this lifetime. Period. Simple as that. So that's kind of what we're learning. Some of the things that we want to be new, it means that we have to destroy and deconstruct the old. We can't just build on top of old shit, build this new shit on top of this old shit. That's like building a motherfucking building on top of a cemetery. That shit ain't gonna go well, bro. That shit gonna come crashing down because the foundation was built off of death. Hence our country right now. Why the shit is collapsing as we speak is because it was built off death, trauma, and tragedy that we wanted to consistently ignore. Or some of us wanted to ignore, and others were trying to, others of us, right? I just always think about like the race issues and the politics in the United States and all that. It's like, y'all realize that this shit is happening because you were trying to ignore your own wrongdoings. Like, America be trying to ignore the fact that this country is built off of slavery, it's built off of genocide, it's built off of like wiping out the indigenous population, creating them into being a minority when this was their majority. Now they're a minority, right? So what did you expect? You expect to just keep building a great empire off the backs and the backs of slaves and the genocide, right? Like, no, that's not how you. That's what I was picking up on. The Tower card. When you see the Tower card and the Death card in readings, I don't do cards anymore. But when you see that shit, that's uh like destroying old past lifetime lines. So for a lot of you guys, if you've been dealing with relationships with parents, friends, family, whatever, romantic relationships, and you've been seeing the Death card, the Tower card, or whatever, it's because there's something that's occurring presently in this moment that is in connection to a past life. So for a lot of us too, like, some of us be like, damn, I wish that motherfucker would have stayed around. I wish that this person would have loved me. I wish this person would have received or accepted my love. And the reason why that relationship, whether it be with a friend, parent, coworker, whoever, didn't work out is because it was going to perpetuate an old karmic timeline. If you had continued dealing with that motherfucker, that's why I'm like, you gotta trust the universe. The universe is way too smart to let you do dumbass shit. Like, the universe won't let you do dumbass shit unless you really trying to be a dumbass motherfucker. But the reason why certain situations end is because it wasn't just an unstable foundation. This go around, it was an unstable foundation from past lives. And what the universe won't do is allow you to create more of what you've already. If you've already learned a lesson, the universe is not going to be like, oh yeah, you need to go back and learn this again, unless you choose to like say, I need to learn this again, right? So yeah, a lot of us be like, damn, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Da, 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 ka, 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 ka. And it's like, because what you were going to try to create was going to be something that you've already learned from. You were going to try to create a situation that your soul has evolved from. So we had to tower that shit. We had to death card that shit. Maybe there's some residual energy that you need to learn from. Cool. But the initial interaction, the initial lesson, you've already moved forward from. The universe is not going to let you go backwards unless you're choosing to go backwards. Even if you go backwards, you're still going forward, right? Because you're going to learn something eventually. Everything in the universe grows. It doesn't stay stagnant, and it doesn't not grow. Yes, things grow into a point where they transform, they die, and then they come back to life. But nothing, like a child never stays a child forever. Like, your child is going to grow. They're going to change shoe sizes, right? They're going to do different things. They're going to have different interests. They're not going to stay a child forever. That's why I can't stand them like toxic ass moms that like try to get their daughter or their son to be a child forever, never letting them grow up. It's like, bitch, you understand that you're stagnating yourself at this point. So yeah, y'all, that's the messages I have. Keep these things in mind when we're making our new moon manifestations. Yes, you can create old storylines, but just understand that You're only going to fully be able to move forward in these new storylines so long as you have deconstructed, transmuted, transmitted, and transcended those old storylines. You cannot build new things off of old foundations, whether that be beliefs, actions, thoughts, whatever. You cannot build new shit off of old shit. You can build new from old, but you cannot build new out of the old. Right? All right, y'all. So I'm done now. Happy Pisces new moon. Really take this in. I hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves on this beautiful Wednesday. Do your manifestations, do what you need to do. But I'm sending you guys my love. Thank you so much for watching. It's your girl Killer K, aka K1132. Tell me how you feeling. Also known as your celestial empress or empress or emperor, whatever you prefer. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to book a session with me, check the description box below. It has my website, kloverings.com. If you're new to this channel, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. If you're not new, thank you for coming back and enjoying and loving on yourself in the process. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.